All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers in today's video. It looks like Brandon Aiyuk at some point today could actually be a Pittsburgh Steeler. The rumors and the reports are coming from people that aren't all that trustworthy as far as track record goes. But folks, I keep seeing tweets that Brandon Aiyuk in Pittsburgh legitimately could happen today. But that's not why we're making this video. Russell Wilson is not gonna run it in the preseason opener, but he still remains quarterback one. Justin Fields Friday night is gonna get first team reps. He's gonna be the starting quarterback. And folks, he had another great day in training camp today, apparently. And what I kind of thought of, like Mike Tomlin, very adamant that Russell Wilson is still quarterback one. We're gonna get into this in just a couple of minutes, but folks, a comparison I have for Justin Fields playing in the preseason, it's like having like a first-round draft pick go down to the G League, like a first-round draft pick from 3 years ago in the NBA go down to the G League. It's like, if there's levels to this, Justin Fields is going to ball his freaking ass off Friday night in the first preseason game. The only thing stopping that would be an interception or a fumble or just some type of turnover, but I know it's just preseason. I know it's just preseason week number one. I'm just saying this is quickly becoming something. The good news is you have both. You have both. All right. So welcome back to the channel. Obviously, we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers in tonight's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Steelers fans, if we could try and get this video to 250 likes, that would be dope. Moving forward, really quickly, I just want to say, Brandon Aiyuk to Pittsburgh. I saw like a mock trade. It was a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick. First off, I'd hop on that every single day of the freaking week. I get it. You have to pay Brandon Aiyuk a bag. But folks, Brandon Aiyuk is one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League. He is literally the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL. So having George Pickens and having Brandon Aiyuk, I don't care who's throwing the football. You could throw a freaking bag of Lay's chips throwing the football, and they're going to move the ball down the field somehow. So anyways, it doesn't feel like a move Pittsburgh would make, but at the same time, trading for Justin Fields didn't seem like a move Pittsburgh would make. Signing Russell Wilson didn't seem like a move the Steelers were going to make until they did. So just want to throw that out there. But real quick, before we get into training camp stuff, I want to talk about overall outlook. Russell Wilson banged up coming into training camp, right? Wilson still has the pole position. Apparently, we saw the depth chart yesterday. Russell Wilson is quarterback number one. Mike Tomlin said, you guys saw the depth chart that I released. It's real. But at the same time, Mike Tomlin said this: it's very much a competition. What happens in the stadium is weighted heavier than what happens in a practice setting because it's more game-like. So I just want to say, depth chart, preseason week number one, it doesn't mean jack diddly squat. It gives you just a good indication of what they've seen in training camp thus far. But moving forward real quick, I saw a great article on The Athletic from Mike DeFabo, and just more hype from the wide receiver room for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is why I've turned into the camp that I don't need Brandon Aiyuk. A couple of months ago, if you asked me if the Pittsburgh Steelers should trade for Brandon Aiyuk, I would have said you're dumb. I would have said it nicer, but you're dumb if you don't think the Steelers could use Brandon Aiyuk. And then, Van Jefferson, Pat Freiermuth, Calvin Austin, these guys are emerging. I know Roman Wilson is still banged up with an injury, but just being honest, I don't know what legitimate impact he was going to have in his first year in the NFL. And by that, I don't mean, 600 receiving yards, 700 receiving yards isn't good, because it is good. It's very good. But I'm just saying, I don't know if he's going to be a needle mover in the sense of like a 1,400-yard receiver, day one Pro Bowl or day one wide receiver number two. I'm a little hesitant, especially considering he sprained his ankle like the first day of padded practice. But Van Jefferson as wide receiver number two, he's been getting all of the wide receiver two reps with George Pickens. He's mentioned numerous times that he wants to recapture his 2021 form where he caught 50 catches for 802 yards and 6 touchdowns. But my favorite part about what I've heard from Van Jefferson isn't his old 2021 form. It's what's coming out of his freaking mouth, and it's his work ethic, and it's his dedication to get better and stay in the NFL with a legitimate, important role. Folks, he's catching 300 balls a day off the jugs machine in an attempt to do this. During team periods, apparently he's showing a veteran savvy in his approach, and he's been consistent, and that's extremely important. We also keep hearing great things about Pat Freiermuth. Contract year last year didn't turn out well. Career low, 32 catches, 308 whopping yards. But first off, Arthur Smith's about to deploy a bunch of 2 tight end sets, and even if he isn't, tight ends are heavily targeted. Think Jonnu Smith last year with Atlanta. Tight ends are heavily targeted in Arthur Smith's system. And apparently Pat Freiermuth and Russell Wilson have developed a nice little chemistry. So Freiermuth, his stock is rising up. And then we got Justin Fields' read option ability that just, gives him something in his back pocket. It just gives him a slight edge over Russell Wilson. And then finally, guys, Calvin Austin, we're about to get into it in just a second. I guess Calvin Austin's doing a phenomenal job as well. So from today, tweet here from Christopher Carter. Justin Fields has hit 3 straight good throws in tight coverage. In the pocket, he hit George Pickens on the hands, in the middle, on stride, right out of his break. Next, find Pickens again short, who made a great catch. Play action on the 3rd play, rolls out, finds Pat Freiermuth on the sideline. All passes were accurate, the right reads, and right on time, and he's shown a lot of growth in Steelers camp. So once again, very good problem to have Russell Wilson and Justin Fields as quarterbacks on your roster. And then also, apparently it was a good, accurate day for Russell Wilson as well. We keep hearing good stuff about the offensive linemen, guys like Troy Fautanu, Zach Frazier. They're easing them into it, all right? Got a tweet here from Nick Faraball. This is going to get every Steelers fan excited to watch preseason football on Friday night, just like last year. It reminds me of last year, folks. I remember watching Kenny Pickett in the first-team offense. It looked like they were about to go 17-0. Paired up with that defense, Kenny Pickett and the first-team Steelers offense of preseason last year, I don't think they had a drive where they didn't score a touchdown. And I remember Calvin Austin balling his ass off. And unfortunately, about a month into the season, Calvin was barely even hitting the field. But tweet here from Nick Faraball. Calvin Austin really having himself a solid training camp, putting together a strong practice today. So there's obvious separation in the wide receiver room. Once again, at the time of this recording, 1:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you got George Pickens, who's just on a different stratosphere of wide receiver talent. And then you have Justin Jefferson. Jesus, dude, could you freaking imagine? Oh my God, Justin Jefferson and George Pickens. Calvin Austin and Van Jefferson are in the wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 zone. And then I guess Scotty Miller and Quez Watkins have had their moments, but they just haven't shown it at the consistent level like the first teamers have. So that's all I got. Also, Najee Harris career year on the way. That's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. 2 things I want you to do. Who's your week 1 starter? Who's your week 1 starter? I don't care what happens in preseason. Let's assume nothing. Let's assume all 3 games they pull a Buffalo Bills BS and it's raining. Oh, the mayor. All 3 mayors are like, yeah, no games being played. Who's starting week 1? And then number 2, do you want Brandon Aiyuk or no? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button. We'll see you.